Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. The Pies win tonight at Marvel against the Saints, 108-74. Shake off the post-bye cobwebs, and it took us all of, probably 2.5, 3 quarters to really get a foothold of who we have been for the large portion of the year, and we showed out in class in that last quarter. So, yeah, another win. We're looking and sitting very pretty at the top of the ladder. Just another game in the books. A lot of stories and conversations to come out of the game, and we'll rip into it tonight and for the rest of the week. Now we're in full throttle until the finals bye, the pre-finals bye. So it's all systems ahead from here. What we'll do tonight is we will do the player ratings, and then we'll get whoever wants to jump on the fan cams. So we'll go for as long as there are people in the Discord. I'll put a link in a little bit later, but yeah, welcome to those who are here. I see Shill, a good mate of mine, St Kilda supporter. Unfortunately, did not get the chocolates, but it was a good game for 3 quarters. A good response from St Kilda after what they've had to do over the last, or what they've endured as a fan over the last few weeks. Lily's here. She's a North supporter, so it's a happy household tonight and today. Butki, yeah, I'm going to do the player ratings first and then jump in Discord. I'll get you one. Don't worry. My luck of getting Discord. We'll get there. Let's warm up, okay? Let's warm up. We've got to do the player ratings. So we'll get going. Let me know, guys, as I'm starting with the first player that we will talk about. We will then, I'll look at the comments to see if there's anyone we want to discuss and give them a cheeky little rating, okay? But I think a man, can you smack it? Are you ripping one? Nah. Can't be doing that, bruv. Can't be doing that, eh? We'll talk about Lipinski, right? So we talked about how much we felt like we missed him against Melbourne. And tonight probably warranted that feeling. And you know what? Outside player, 30 touches, kicked a goal, was really composed going inside 50. 10 score involvements, which just might be the most for the Pies. It was 10 score involvements. 9 contested possessions to go along with it, which is not too shabby for a winger. Got really involved within the stoppages as well. I'd like to know if he had any stoppage clearances, but I don't have that stat in front of me. Nevertheless, he was within that realm. Benny, thanks for the 5, mate. 5 memberships. Appreciate it. Big dog always coming through. My man. It's we're a happy camp tonight. But yeah, Lippo, just 8 inside 50s, looked like he didn't miss a beat. Didn't have any dramas with that concussion. Definitely passed that with flying colours tonight. Some are saying in the chat it's his best game for the black and white. It's close to. You probably look at the Port Adelaide game last year where he kicked 4 would probably be his best game. I'd say I'm giving Lipinski an 8.5 out of 10. I think he's got a little bit more in him, but he was really, really good tonight, and we missed him. And it showed tonight. Just having him back. He's having a good year. Overall, he's having a good year. Who we will do next? Let's talk about Nick Dacos, right? You know what? Beyond everything, I mean, he played a pretty good defensive game as well. 9 intercept possessions. How many touches did he finish with? 30 touches, 2 goal assists. Had that massive goal in that last quarter. Barely had time to throw that onto his boot. Got it flush. And that pretty much, I don't know if it iced the game, but it put us in a pretty advantageous position late in the game. And those are the moments we need from Nick. And we're going to need that throughout the remainder of the season in the final series. That's what we're going to need from Nick. 30 touches and 1 against a respected tagger in Marcus Winhager. what he was able to do throughout the course of the game. You know, I felt like maybe he heated up in the back half and then he started to find some centre clearance assertion in the second half. We managed to not break even in the clearance battle. I think it was close. Contest, a little bit underwhelming again. I think we were minus 20 something. It's just probably something we're going to have to tidy up. But if Nick is playing like this, I think we'll work towards that more and more. Just being a little bit more, I don't know if it's more harder or being more cleaner or wanting the ground ball a little bit more than the opposition. It comes with the territory, doesn't it? We are the hunted right now. We are. So teams come in and they want it all. Dormy, Bubba. Dormy. I know. I look tired, don't I? It's been a long day. So, Nick Dacos, I think that for me, that was probably impact-wise and importance and the way he had to overcome the adversity of the Windhager tag. I'd say I'd be giving Nick a 9 out of 10. That's what I think Nick deserves. So we've done Nick, we've done Lipinski, who will be remiss of us not to talk about Darcy Cameron. He was outstanding. Took it up to Rowan Marshall. Did he expose him in the forward half? Maybe. He definitely found some little holes inside 50 just to get an easy, uncontested mark. And what he kicked 2 goals, could have had 3 or 4 by the end of it. Did he intercept much? Probably didn't intercept much as we're typically accustomed to, but a lot of his damage was forward of centre. And in the ruck as well. He was exceptional. I think he led the game or led the team for centre clearances. Again, I don't have the stoppages in front of me, but he was exceptional. It's one of those ones like, what do you want from DC? Do you put him forward of centre to kick goals like he has in years gone by, or do you take him into the back half where he just does his thing? So it's good that he can burn you going both ways. It's just maybe it's a game-to-game basis or just how the game is trending. Are we defensively holding up? Yes, okay, maybe we can afford to encourage DC to roll forward and expose someone like Rowan Marshall, who, you know, he definitely got some of his own Marshall as well, but overall, I think, yeah, DC was probably the second best player on the field behind Nick Dacos. So, DC for me is an 8.5 out of 10. You know what? I want to talk about Jack Crisp, okay? 16 touches, kicked a goal, 6 score involvements, 3 tackles inside 50. He was as sure as anything tonight. I don't know if he's going to get much raps for tonight, but I just thought he was so just reliable. Everything he did went or trended in a positive direction after he touched it. I couldn't fault Jack Crisp. And this is someone who is sacrificing being an on-baller for the sake of the team. 10 tackles as well. So double-double. 18 touches, 10 tackles and a goal. Those are great numbers for a winger. Unbelievable numbers, really. Or 16 touches, sorry. I think I said 18. So, yeah, it's someone who could be the spearhead in another team, but he plays on a wing because he wants to allow players like Dacos and Sidebottom and Ned Long and Pendlebury to thrive as the on-ballers, as the guys. So I'm going to give Jack Crisp an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, I think. You know what? You know who was a workhorse all game long? Brody Myercheck. And maybe deserves a couple more goals than what he ended up with. He had what? 11 touches, 7 marks, a goal assist, 1 goal, 2. And he was a battering ram. He put himself in some tough positions and really had to eat some dirt in some of those plays. And his work rate, there was a contest on the right side in the fourth quarter, nearly takes a mark, and then I think by the end of that sequence, he was in our forward 50 on the left side in the pocket where he took a mark. Like, that just goes to talk about his work rate, which once again on camera you're probably not going to be able to see and appreciate as much. 2 contested marks, 6 score involvements. I think I think he's the guy. I think he's our guy, the work rate man, along with, McStay and Membry, who work just as hard as each other. But Myercheck definitely took the chocolates in work rate and found himself in the frame more often than not. I'm going to give Checkers a 7.5 out of 10. And then last one before we roll into our post-game show. Oh, yeah, our show with our guests. Let's see, who's someone we can finish off with? Let's go. I think Darcy Moore's second half definitely deserves some appreciation. I think up until half time, he was relatively quiet. And then his intercept game was just on show for the second half. I'd like to see his second half numbers. I've got it on my phone, but just can't pull it out right now. 7 intercept possessions, 5 score involvements. And, I've obviously given this guy some flack, and he's sometimes can make some questionable decisions in dangerous positions in our back half. But today, in that second half, I think he, along with Jeremy Howe, Harry Perryman, and Billy Frampton, really withstood some of the pressure that the Saints heaped on us in that second half. I think we have them to thank to set us up in slingshotting us and rebounding us back into our forward half. So I think Darcy Moore, not a spectacular game, but I think he deserves some sort of acknowledgement, and I'll give him a 7 out of 10 for our skipper. So what we'll do now is, before our post-game show, we'll do our Manny medal now, right? So for those who haven't heard, the Manny medal is a player, not necessarily the best player on ground, but displayed these 3 key values. What were they? They were desire, passion, and assertiveness. Okay, so we're gonna do a 3-2-1. So we'll start with we'll do the 3 votes, I think. So 3 votes for Manny's medal. 3 votes. Let's go. I mean, is it Nick Dacos? Is it Darcy Cameron? Or is it Lipinski? I think those are obvious ones for 3 votes. And maybe Josh Dacos was very good as well. So maybe I'll include him. Or maybe, yeah, I think that's fair. All right. Let's go. Let's get the 3 votes in. Who was our best on Manny's medal tonight? Darcy Moore took 6 intercept marks, so 7 of his intercept possessions comprised of 6 intercept marks. That's huge. RJ says Moore played a little higher up the ground at times, which I think helped him. Mick says, Anth, we are having our own post-game show on Discord. Mate, that's what it's there for. Don't worry, we'll get you guys on soon. So Nick is currently sitting with the 3 votes, 50%. We'll give it another 10 seconds. 10. I think it's going to be Nick. It's not unanimous. DC's around the mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Nick. All right. We'll go Nick Dacos. So you know what? The way we did that poll, it was Nick, then it was DC, and then it was Lipinski. So I think that's our order. It's pretty simple, right? So Nick gets 3, DC gets 2, and Lipinski gets 1. I'm pretty sure we can just roll with it like so. Nick took the votes on Fox. That goal was awesome, 100%. All right, that's the player ratings, guys. Let's get into the post-game show. Let's get the lads on. All right. All right, lads, make sure you're muted. We'll start with Manny and then we'll go from there. Yasu. Hold on, one sec. I just got to make sure your sound's working on Discord. 1 second. Ella,
Malaka, we've been having a half an hour get together before you got on.
What have you guys come up with?
Workmanlike performance, first gear all night till the last quarter, and buried him. 35 points. Simple as that. 4 points. two games ahead on the ladder, and 1 game in hand against West Coast. What else do you want? Beautiful, laughing. You?
Yeah, I think it took us a little while to get into it post-bye, get the cobwebs off, and then that fourth quarter, Nick Dacos and co just unleashed on them, and they couldn't match us, unfortunately.
Oh, you should have seen my blood boiling there when I saw Winhager go up to him. My blood was boiling at the start. I was going to take matters into my own hands, but lucky Nick sorted it out. Nick demolished him at the end. He demolished him.
Yeah, I mean, he had like 19 touches up until halftime, so he really he was involved the whole game.
Oh yeah, we buried him. Don't worry. The boys were in first gear all night. Don't worry. The boys, all the boys played good. Couple, except for Danny Houston. I don't know where the fuck he went. He went missing a little bit. Houston.
I mean, he's just not really our go-to guy at the moment. He's accustomed to taking all the kick-ins, and he's accustomed to getting the ball in his hands. But Josh Dacos, I feel like, is taking pretty much that responsibility almost entirely, and Dan Houston gets the leftovers.
Yeah, I reckon he might launch in. He's good to have there. He might launch in finals time. And Lipinski played well again. All the boys done all right. The forwards done all right. Everyone played well. It was just a win we had to have. Bank the 4 points. That's what I was worried about more. The 4 points. Bank the 4 points. Get in front of the ladder. Beautiful. West Coast next week. Brosley's back, and we're laughing.
Give McCreary a couple weeks off. Ice him a bit, or
yeah, they reckon it's minor, but they had ice on it, so it might be a 3-weeker. He looked good in the midfield, eh? Like you said. Remember you made that video about him playing midfield?
Who?
You made that video about Bo McCreary playing midfield. Remember you made that video?
Yeah, he's doing well when he's in there.
Oh, yeah, thick power, eh? He reminds me of a young Jordan to go.
He's fast when he gets going, I'll tell you that much.
Powerful, mate. Powerful.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So all the boys we've been talking about already. Get them on. We're all thinking the same tonight. Workmanlike performance, got the job done, buried him at the end. Not many injuries. Move on to the next one.
Hey, did you like how Pendlebury stuck up for his little man?
Oh yeah.
You love that?
Hey, listen. Pendlebury's got testicles. Hey, it was a matter of time. Till he took matters into his own hands. I'm telling you, if nothing got done tonight, I'll take matters into my own fucking hands. It's getting beyond the joke. The first bounce, he was grabbing him, right? Even hit him until the umpires saw it and started giving away free kicks to him. And how about some umpiring? I'll never talk about umpires usually. How about some umpiring decisions there? What about the one,
Quaynor?
right, when Quaynor?
Yeah.
What about the one where Quaynor caught Butler holding the ball, and the umpire gave the free kick to Butler, and he scored a goal?
I don't know, man. I think everyone saw that. I think even Butler was like, "Yeah, that's not a free." So,
what about the ones out? What about the ones out of bounds on the full? And the blokes are taking marks 20 metres out of the boundary. It's like some shocking decisions, man.
They're trying to get their Jack Higgins moment again.
What about? I think it's time to bring Mitchell in, like you said. Bring Mitchell in for Sullivan. I think it's time.
Yeah, I think he's been going well in the VFL. I said if there's going to be a player who drops out, it's probably Sullivan, and that'd be for a Tom Mitchell. We'll see.
Exactly. I will let the others get on because we've been talking about. There's about 5-6 of us on there. Let them get on, say their bit.
Do you know who was in second, or did you come in late?
No, it was me. It was Mickle.
Yep.
Then it was Boomer.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was Ultimate Greatness. Then it was Mick Saka. And then it was Nicholas Allen.
All right, done. Egg in there.
So go Mickle now, then Boomer.
Fire up for me, Malaka.
Huh?
Fire up, but fire up, man.
Hey, listen, I told you before, we're the big boys in this fucking league. Never forget it, buddy. All right? I told you, we take all prisoners. We bury all of them. See you later.
See you. Hey, Ella. All right. Mickles.
Yo, who's next, by the way? Who's next?
I think it's you, brother.
Oh, good to see you too, brother.
What's going on?
Oh, mate, just, enjoying the win. Fucking
Mm.
really good win too. That last quarter, we really pulled it in.
Yeah, just got the job done in the end. Guys, just before I forget, I want to. I'm gonna have to watch the VFL back. I was flat out today, but I'd like to know and because I'm not sure if you watched it, but I'm wondering if Tom Mitchell played forward at all, because if he's going to play at AFL level, I do foresee him needing to play some sort of forward time, in my opinion.
I mean, I didn't really see the VFL, but from what I saw of the stats, he tied with 3 other players. Will Parker was one of them. 27 disposals.
Yeah,
They were the top in that game.
played midfield all game, says greatness. I think he had a bunch of tackles. So yeah, we'll have a look. But post bye, dust off the cobwebs. I mean, was there anything you took out of that game that springs to mind, fresh out of the game?
Oh, like a few highlights. Like I'm talking that Nick Dacos goal, fucking that fourth quarter. Fucking came out of nowhere too. That was just like, I want to say almost maybe it could be also a goal of the year. Hopefully this time. And the second thing was, who was the other one? Scott Pendlebury. Like, wow, what a bomber. Fucking kicked that straight over.
I know.
It was well over the line.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know if he had the legs in him, but I was like,
I didn't either.
Yeah.
You kidding?
I remember telling my brother, I'm like, yeah, he's not the greatest from set shots. And then Chris goes, mate, doesn't matter. He kicked the set shot in the grand final.
That's the Rolls Royce for a reason, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, also at the same time, other players have been really well as well. Like Jack Crisp was huge for us in that game. Lipinski, I think it was a combined team effort to pull in that fourth quarter as well. Darcy, who was that? Darcy Moore as well. He's had bad decisions in this game as well, but he's pulled it through with a lot of. I feel like I've seen a few more intercept marks that he's made than he's done in the last 3 or 4 games.
No, he's Darcy. I mean, 6 intercept marks tonight? I thought, yeah, when the chips were down, I thought he was really good. Looked like his 2023 self.
It's an improvement.
I hate to say it,
but just try to stay away from the wing and try to stick more to the, sticking to your man, because, when Darcy Moore does tend to go to the wing, all of a sudden that leaves to like Quain or someone smaller to defend the middle. And then that's already outsized by someone like, in this case, it was like a few other St. Kilda tall players. You had, Isaac Keller and, just a few of these guys, they just kept abusing it. That's why they got closer than they should have been.
Yeah. Are you concerned about the way we're being beaten in the contest at the moment? Minus 21.
Not really. No. You know why? Because despite what people have said, and I've been a bit concerned by it, Craig McRae has mentioned an interesting point, not in this game, but in the previous games. We've been beaten. I don't remember what game it was again, but he's mentioned that we've been beaten in every contest, every aspect except one. And that was, I don't know if it was the disposal efficiency or if it was the goal kicking efficiency. And that's exactly what pulled us through for a really good win. I got to find out what that game was. We were basically outdone, but we were the better team.
I think what keeps us in good stead, even if we're not great in the coalface, is just our synergy. When we do enter our forward 50, we just find a way to get a scoring shot registered. And I think at the end of the day, all the stats and all that matters is a score and being able to put on a score. And we just find a way to keep doing that.
Yeah, and not just that, but he's mentioned another interesting aspect, and I think I mentioned it in the chat as well. I think I've cracked how Collingwood is winning in almost every game, except, yeah, you could argue maybe that opening round game. But he's already hinted to it. And he said, we try to find ways in which every game we can win by, whether it's a close margin, whether it's a blowout margin, or whether it's, just a decent enough to like comfortably control and win the game.
Yeah.
So that is probably what differentiates us from 2023, because 2023, it was mostly close games we've had with a few, we've been able to blow out. But this year is a bit more different so far, and it's a little bit better.
Yeah, I think we've probably spoken about it at length. There's a lot of things that are different about 2023. That's why I personally don't like the comparison. It can be a reference, but I think our turnover game is exceptional, particularly in the forward half, which has been spoken about at length, and our personnel is different, and our midfield is getting stronger. And while we are getting older, we're also bleeding players like Ned Long and Ed Allen, and Will Hayes has had his shot. And I'm going to put a poll in the chat, and I'll let you answer it first, Mick. But do you think Charlie West, after kicking 6 goals and kicking a goal after the siren to win the game, does he come in next week against West Coast?
At least he has to come as an interchange, at least. And I'm sure he has to, considering I think we'll probably rest a few players. But to keep this short, because now we've got a few more people here who want to get in the chat, I will say this very quickly. Just keep in mind what Craig McRae said about that. We try to win in every asset. And I've been saying this again as well, and I keep repeating this. If you tag Nick Dacos, fair enough, do what you want. He's even mentioned it in the press as well when they asked him, what about if Nick Dacos gets tagged? And he said, well, didn't Bontempelli get tagged? And how did that go for St. Kilda against Bulldogs? Got smashed. Didn't matter. You got to tag the whole team. So on that end, I'll end it, and I'll move on to the next person. So I believe that should be a Boomer. And I'll just end it with the note.
All right, brilliant.
So I'll just say, bring on West Coast, and after that, bring on fucking Carlton, mate.
Yep.
Carlton's going to be a laughing stock after this.
Is that time again, huh?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be soon after West Coast, so we better be good.
Brilliant.
All right. Go Collingwood.
Thanks, Mickles. Take care, brother. All right. Boomer lad.
Hey, how are you, friend?
How are we doing?
The message just said to me, and you're not even listening. And I thought, what a fucking strange way to begin a sentence. Anyway, that game tonight. That was like, when a cat catches a mouse and they take them off and they perform their war crimes atrocities by just teasing the fuck out of them before they kill them. That's the impression I got tonight, dude. I never felt threatened by St Kilda. I think we did just enough to let them wear themselves out and then just fucking crunched them into the ground towards the end. Darcy Moore was a really good serviceable game out of him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
Good to see. Bobby Hill, we didn't see him all game until we did. Jamie Elliott, we didn't see him till after half-time. Then he fucking did. They try to hold us down, but someone's going to break you open. It's like a little kid sticking fingers in the dike. He's only got 10 fingers and there's 18 holes in the dike, man. We are fucking good. And here's the thing, dude. Since we did your pre-game last night, 24 hours in footy, Geelong got exposed as the fucking laziest midfield in the comp. If Gryan and Danger don't do it, no one else does. Thank you, Brisbane. And Carlton got their fucking asses kicked by North because, well, why not? Fuck you, Carlton. So, been a fucking good day for a Collingwood supporter, hasn't it?
Look, the results tend to keep going our way, and we're doing our part, which is the most important piece to the puzzle, of course.
Yeah.
It's one of those games, like, as a fan, right? I'll be honest. It's sometimes hard to find these games enthralling in the moment, right? And then it's like you almost want to. It's a twisted way of thinking, but it's like you almost want it to be a fiery contest so you can feel like you want to engage. And I could only imagine how difficult that could be for the players sometimes as well. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do see what you mean. Like, I think we're far more likely to get knocked off by, say, a clever Ross Lyon than, say, Geelong, because we're always going to be up and ready for Geelong or up and ready for Brisbane psychologically. It's those teams you walk out thinking we've won this are going to get us. Teams like the Bulldogs or Port Adelaide or someone like that. I sort of think the way we're going to go now, we're going to drop a couple. I just can't pick who's going to beat us, but there will be 2 or 3 that do. Who did we pick? I think I've picked who's let me down so far in tipping has been Carlton, because I tipped them, fucking malakas. And
you're the malaka then.
Well, how can you tip, dude? Yeah, Carlton technically on paper are much better than North Melbourne, aren't they?
Boomer.
Hey,
You're better than that. You're better than that.
I don't like to. Well, put it this way, I was pretty happy with the result, even though I tipped against them. But the way it sort of goes, mate, I think now with that clearances, Bo came in and suddenly look at our clearance game. 2, then he runs off with a fucking torn hammy or whatever. So I reckon Fly don't give a shit about centre clearances and rather clears traffic because he knows you can bolster the half-back line, and we're going to send it back that way. If it goes from one Dacos to the next one over the top, doesn't matter about the centre clearance then, does it? Because we're still winning where it matters. But I didn't feel threatened at all tonight. I just kind of thought, yeah, this is cool. This is the Pies I like to see. This is better than 2023.
2 things I'm just thinking about now as I look into the chat as well. One is RJ mentions how we worked with the 3 big M's and Jamie, and Bobby was quiet, but he had his moments late in the game. That was really positive to see that the synergy was there, and it didn't really. Yes, maybe Elliott didn't have as many opportunities, but when he had an opportunity, he took it with both hands and kicked a couple crucial goals. Bobby Hill ended up getting a junk time goal, but also had some decent moments in the second half, and all 3 of the big M's had their say. The other one, Boomer, that I want to talk about is the trick up St Kilda's sleeve could have potentially been having, Jay-Z mentions this, Brendan Bolton in their coach's box today, being the assistant coach. And that, fortunately, he couldn't, along with Ross Lyon, they couldn't out-coach us for 4 quarters in the end.
Yeah, I agree. I reckon Lyon and Bolton know how to beat us. They just don't have the cattle on the paddock to do it.
Yeah.
Just say they were in charge of Port Adelaide, where you got your Horn Francises and your Redigalias and all those guys. I reckon Lyon and that know how to match up against us. But the way it goes now, we're on a little bit of a love triangle where we've beat Brisbane have beat Geelong, and Geelong have beat us. But the lowest margin was us because it was only a kick in it, whereas the other 2 were big margins. So, look, we're as well placed as we could want to be. Gets to the finals, well, who knows? A bad umpiring decision and your whole year's down the fucking gurgler. But I think what we want to see now is Brisbane to finish second. That way Geelong get to travel. That makes their finals campaign harder, and then they meet a hard-charging Bulldogs in the finals and they get eliminated. And then we fight off between, say, Brizzy and the Bulldogs, and that would very well place me for the finals. But we've got lots of good games to come, man, so I'm going to sit back and enjoy this season because this is fucking one of the best teams I think I've ever seen from Magpie Land, and I don't know, I'm just fucking loving it, mate. So I'll move aside and let the others, because you've got a nice big queue, and I had a big rant in the rave last night, so what can I say other than go Pies? We got West Coast, then we got Carlton. Fucking life's good, isn't it, guys? Cheers and peace out, peeps. Go Pies.
Cheers. Guys, who's next? We had Boomer. Who was next? Was it Greatness? Someone wants to unmute themselves. I think I've got Greatness. How you going?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on?
Talk to me, mate. Can you just quickly fill us in with some key points for the VFL before we get into tonight's game, if that's okay?
So VFL had a massive win. Charlie West kicked 6. We had a few disposal getters. I believe Jacob Ryan had about 28. Parker 27, no 26, and Mitchell had 27. Mitchell also had 13 tackles.
Wow.
And also Ryan and I just said his name, Parker, both had about 7 marks each.
What happened to
Thought
TJ
was
greatness?
so TJ in the commentary they said it was like a knee issue, so I think it might be his previous injury. It was
Oh, the
like the
plantaris.
patella.
Yeah.
What I'm not a doctor, so I don't know the terms. I think it's like a patella tendon or something like that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It was something to that effect, but I'm sure we'll know on Tuesday.
And no forward
I
time for
thought
Tom
Steen.
Mitchell?
No, no.
Okay.
I don't think he even touched the forward line, to be honest.
Okay.
If he did, it would be breaking news to me. And yeah, I thought Oscar Steen was massive. Yeah. Yeah, because I know. Sorry, just going back on TJ. Yeah, there was reports it was a quad, but as I said, I'm going off the commentary. Commentary said it was like it was like they said it was a knee issue, but it wasn't like an ACL or anything like that. So.
Okay.
It was like, yeah, as I said, because he did have a patella injury, which is placed at like the back of the knee. So
Yeah.
if he's done that, then he's redone that injury. So hopefully not, but he did go off and didn't play for the rest of the game, and maybe would have played the first 10 minutes. But yeah, as I said, Steen was really awesome. Might have only had about 10, 12 disposals, but just every time he got near the ball, he'd just mark anything. I think I've said it for a while now. Just whenever you think of him, you think of Darcy Cameron. So yeah, he's not far away either. And yeah, as I said, Charlie West kicked 6. So I think those are the guys that are probably and Dean. Dean was a massive down back as well. So
It's been good all season, hasn't
yeah,
he, in the VFL, Dean?
yes, yeah, just the way he's not like he doesn't beat you by strength. He beats you by smarts.
Okay.
And I think for someone that's in the VFL, I feel like he's been a bit unlucky because, like, if he was in a team that was, say, outside of the top 6, I feel like he'd be playing every week. But yeah, no, like, yeah. So the VFL had a very good win. We've definitely got, I'd say, I mean, they always say you got to have it like a top 30 or a list of 30 to be contending for a flag. At the moment, like I reckon it's around 35 to 40 with the way we're going. So
Yeah.
couldn't be in a better position going into finals. So
It's
hopefully
unfortunate
we
for
prepare as
Ryan,
well.
though, isn't it? Because there's so much depth in that position right now. For another AFL team, he's probably getting a run, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, he's been playing a lot because he's Owen Carey has been amazing. So if you think about like a John Noble, that's sort of the type of player that he plays like. But the difference between him and Noble is that because he's 189 centimeters, he can also intercept. So he's in a weird way, he's a bit of a combination of a Markov and like a Noble. So you've got the run and gun game of Noble, but then when it comes to Markov, he can sort of like take the intercepting mark. Has I don't know if he's got explosive pace, but he's obviously not slow, and he's definitely got the endurance. So, but yeah, we'll definitely give it his all. So,
Talk
yeah,
to me,
Ryan's
Mason
probably been a
Cox.
bit of a sleeper this year. Cox. I mean, yeah, I mean, if he plays, you don't complain. But I mean, how is he being picked in this side? If you know what I mean. So,
Yeah. Okay.
um. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, he's obviously good enough to play AFL, but I think because our list is so strong at the moment, and he's not, personally, I wouldn't have him in front of Steen at the moment, so that's basically where I would have him.
Yeah. Okay. And lastly, I'm curious, Ilaru Smith in the back line has, I can see 7 intercept possessions. How is his game?
Yeah, I mean, he's been awesome. I mean, he still plays ruck as well.
Yeah.
And like his work around the ground has obviously been his strength. Obviously, given that he's second year, but really it's only been technically right now it's only really been a full season because he only got picked up like 12 months ago. Yeah, probably it's going to take obviously a bit more time, which is obvious, but yeah, super happy with his growth and yeah, will only develop and get better. But yeah, I personally, if you want an AFL comparison, I can really see him being like a Mark Littafs,
Hmm.
sort of like a tall utility that literally plays everywhere.
Yeah.
So even if he's sort of similar to I mean, at the time, I think, was it last year, the year before, we had Frampton playing, key back and ruck. That's sort of probably where his next footy is,
Yep.
or where we're trying to develop him as.
Yeah. I did say lastly, but what about, we talk about Jacob Ryan being unlucky in the sense that the role is just fulfilled with top caliber players like Dacos and Houston. What about Will Parker, man? 10 intercept possessions, 13 contested.
Yeah, it's another one. As I said, like you look at the list, and as I said, top 30. I reckon we've got 35 to 40 players you could probably look at, and they could do a job. I mean, we saw Hayes play the other week, and he's done pretty good for his role. Like that North game, can't remember how many tackles he had, but his pressure was amazing.
Yeah.
It just shows that we can pretty much pick any of these guys and go, "Yep, you're playing this week," and they just turn up and show out. Like yeah, there's not many clubs that can say that. That's for sure.
It seems like with Westy kicking his 6 goals and notably the one to win the game after the siren against the Zebras, without Riley Mason in that forward line and the addition of Noah Howes, it seemed like there needed to be a bit of space cleared up because it was a bit clogged with those 3 keys in there. Did that seem like that was why? Did that enable Charlie West with having one less key like Riley Mason in the side?
Yeah, so that was a talking point that I was having with some people I was watching the game with. It definitely seemed like that because I think the last game we played was that night game, and yeah, you could just tell we just had too many tall forwards, and you could just tell like when with their running patterns, it's sort of yeah they were trying to move in like a phone booth in a sense. Where now that you've got less people in the phone booth, you feel like obviously it's a Ford 50, but yeah, you got more room to move. And I think in that, like you could see that West had a lot more freedom. He was able to play his role being like the athletic key forward that he is.
Yeah.
Don't know if I've like said this, but I've got him as a potential like Tex Walker type, just a big, strong key forward, but very like athletic at the same time. So
Yeah. And
um,
lastly, greatness. We'll
yeah,
go into the AFL, but just a shout out to Brady Gray. From what I did watch bits and pieces, I thought he was exceptional. So
yes.
credits to that man.
Oh, he in terms of the VFL listed players, yeah, he's probably been our best player. And it's not because he probably gets a standout game every single week, but just the fact that he just keeps rocking up, turning up. Um, yeah, I reckon in terms of our VFL listed players, I think if you look at it from a consistent basis, like if we're having a best and fairest right now, I'd say he'd be winning it right now. Not because, as I said, yeah, not because he's like again getting best on grounds, but he's always if he's he'd always like say be our third best player, but he's our third best player every week. Where you might have a Josh Brown that might be our best player, but then he'd be number 15, sort of thing
Yeah.
down the line, sort of thing. Or Riley Mason might go out and kick 5 and be our best player, but then again he'd be outside the top 10, sort of thing.
Yep.
Nah, Brady Gray's been absolutely amazing. I believe he had like 20 disposals and like he kicked 2 goals as well. So no, he had his best game for the season for sure.
Sweet. I might even wrap that into a video greatness, and I'll repost it tomorrow on YouTube. So let's talk about the AFL now. What have you got for me from tonight's game?
Yeah, so tonight, yeah, obviously we know going in that coming off a bye, we're going to be a bit rusty. Yeah, we just wanted to just obviously get the win and move on, I guess, in a sense. I think I said the other day when I was on here that St Kilda was a team that we normally have a bit of trouble with, but at the same time, like we know if we're good enough and we play our best footy, like this doesn't become a contest. So it sort of seemed like it was kind of like that, but obviously we got them. yeah, like obviously they got pretty close at times. I believe they were. I think we were in front by 10. I think we were in front by 10 points with about 10 minutes to go, and then we obviously blew it out to I think 34 points.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the end of the day, you just take the win and you move on. But yeah, I think the way that we sort of I don't know, in a sense, sort of treaded water in a sense because I keep saying this so many times. You know, the AFL season is like a marathon, but if if you treat it like a sprint, that's where you're going to go wrong. So if you're running a marathon, you're not going to be showing your best colors every single week. So yeah, I think you just do what you need to do that week, and then you move on. So that's exactly what we did. And then yeah, obviously we won by as I said, 34. So might get a little bit of percentage out of that, but that's really not the main point. But yeah, the main point is we get the win. Uh, yeah, I'm kind of annoyed with like Bo with the hamstring awareness though, because I just don't know what to like go off with that because I feel like that's a bit of I don't know, maybe you can like explain it to me with that because I mean I just it sounds like it's just a fancy word for hamstring tightness, which would mean he's available next week.
Nah, I would say when you get awareness in a hammy, and having experienced this myself, you feel it. You don't know how significant it is until tomorrow or the next day. So I would dare say, at the very least, he'll miss a week. I don't know if he's had much hamstring history. If he hasn't, then he should.
He did early on. In his first and second year. No, first year.
Okay.
I think he did 2 hamstrings from memory.
Okay.
But he did have hamstring issues early in his career. I know that.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, it could be. Look, we could look at 1 to 2, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yep. And and it's just obviously it's just unfortunate for Bo as well too, because I don't know about you, but it just seems like every game he just seems to be. It just seems to be his breakout game. He seems to, instead of breaking out, he just breaks down. So that's obviously being a massive fan of his, I'm just waiting for the day where he can be that explosive mid.
Yep.
Win you some clearances and just tear games apart. But yeah, just got to wait a few more weeks for that, unfortunately. But I'm sure he'll get there eventually. But yeah, just
He's too explosive for his own good, mate.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, he's too talented for his own good.
Yeah, that's it. All right, greatness. I've got to keep it rolling, brother. I appreciate you, and thanks for the insight on the VFL. Appreciate it.
No, all good. All right.
Cheers.
I'll talk to you next time.
All right. Who was next, guys? Was it Mick?
Me, mate.
Michali, mate.
How are ya?
Good. Got the win. I'm here with the lads and the ladies, and we're enjoying this, aren't we?
The lads we had our own little show happening, mate, while you were rambling on about something. So yeah.
How good's that?
Manny's he's a pretty good host, Manny. I've got to give you that, mate.
It's the Manny Roundtable. No, it's good, man. Mate, like this is what the Discord's for. It's not just for the for the show. It's for you, my luckers, as well. You know what I mean?
Fantastic, mate.
Yeah.
What can I say, man? 3/4 time.
No. I want to talk about your boy Lipinski. Talk to me.
He had a really good game, and I reckon one of the reasons for that is he seemed to have a different role, like a forward defensive type role, where I think he had Sinclair, who's usually very damaging for St Kilda coming off the half back line. And Lipinski seemed to be on him, and he seemed to be getting away from him as well and creating a lot of havoc. So, look, I'll give him his laurels, mate. But I want to see more of it, man. One game is not enough, mate. We're here to win a premiership, mate.
True.
I want to see more of that.
True.
And he's got a good opportunity next week against West Coast. to really cement that little role that Fly's got for him. And on another note, that could, if he does well in that role, you could see Ed Allen kind of move up to a wing and show us what he's got, you know. I got to hand it to Lipper. That was a very good game today from him, and he seems to be going in hard as well. So that's another good thing, you know.
Yeah, well, I think he had like 9 contested possessions as well, and I'm sure some of them were just like loose ball gets, but he looked really lively and didn't really put a foot forward, didn't put a foot wrong, and just builds on it. I think he's had a really good game against Hawthorn and had some decent games early in the season, and also this game he was exceptional. So just build on that, and that is just more momentum towards the final series for the team.
Yeah, he's probably been listening to our show, mate. Me and Manny have been all over him, and he's probably thought, fuck, man, these cunts are fucking going nuts on me. I better fucking improve my hard ball game.
Sometimes this type of conversation about certain players, maybe it makes it comes across their screen. I doubt it, but if it means a player has to hate us and it motivates them, fuck, I'll take it. It's for the betterment for the club. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, look, he uses the ball well, and that's what we want, man. We want the ball in his hands, outside 50, because McRae said it in the when he was getting interviewed by the Foxtel guys. He said it, mate. He's our best user, mate. We want the ball in his hand, outside 50, and if we can keep doing that, that's good. I want to say Nick Dacos, in the context, you put this in context, that's got to be one of his best games he's ever played for us. In context, yeah? Because Windhager, all right, even though they lost last week by 70-odd points against Bulldogs, he fucking destroyed Bontempelli. And I was thinking before the game, this guy destroyed Bontempelli. He's probably going to do a number on our golden boy, but fuck, mate, Nick just kept working, and it was a scraggy tag as well. It was a real rough tag, and he just got away from him, man, and just was getting the ball inside. The only problem was 2 or 3 times kicking the ball inside 50. It went to an opposition player, but fuck, he looked electric at times. Yeah, in the context, I reckon it's one of his best games.
He knew it as well. You could see by the way he was reacting tonight. This game was so important to him. He just wanted to burst and have moments that win you games and run his tagger into the ground and still get 30, and he did that.
Yeah. DC, another monster game. Far out. I hope we don't lose him, man. He's so important for us.
Well, Peter G in the chat was saying that he's got mail that he might sign in the next couple of weeks. And Peter's mail's been decent for the most part. So I don't know if we're going to take it to the bank, but once again, maybe it's just a reference point to consider.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that's one of the advantages we've got as a big, high-profile club, that if DC does sign with us, he'll sign for unders, compared to what he'll get at West Coast or whatever. He could make life-changing money at somewhere else. But if he signs for us, it'll be for unders, and we've got that advantage. Like players want to play for us, and they're prepared to play for unders, like Bruzzy, you know. And that's why, you know, if we're after another player from another club, they might accept unders just to play for us. You know, we're playing, you know, it's box office games we're playing, man. We're not, you know, playing fucking in Darwin and Tasmania and shit, you know.
Marvel's as bad as it gets, though, I guess, for us.
Yeah. Man, how good was it to see fucking Carlton in the doldrums, man? You know that, do you ever watch the show, the YouTube show Forever Rivals with Rocco? They got the Essendon supporter, Richmond supporter, and fucking, the
Nah.
4 rival teams.
Uh,
Yeah,
I've heard I've heard about the jumper punch. I haven't heard about that one though.
yeah. Check it out. Look, it's all right. It's fun. It's even more fun now that we're smashing everyone. I called in last week and I absolutely gave it to him.
So it's a Carlton supporter, a Richmond supporter, and
Essendon and Collingwood supporter. Yeah, 4 guys, and they just banter away.
is Andreas from Black and White United the Collingwood one?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. There's a guy called Manny, not our Manny, but there's another Manny.
There's another Manny.
goes
There's
on
only
there,
one
but
Manny though.
Andreas- Yeah, I know. There's only one real.
They got
Manny,
the wrong.
I know that.
They got the wrong Manny, mate.
Our Manny needs to call him up and give it to him like I did last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andreas always calls in as well to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Richmond supporter there was giving shit that they got to Nicky D last week, and I fucking just gave it to him, mate.
Yeah.
Anyway, Charlie West. How does Charlie West get a Guernsey in this team, man? Because we've had our bye. I can't see us resting one of the Triple M's next week. Yeah, maybe I don't know. How does he get in? I want him to play. Like if he debuts next week, that could be a dream debut. He'll probably kick a bag of goals with putting in consideration the opposition we're going to be playing against. It's the perfect time to debut.
I would suppose. I don't think you're dropping Hoskin Elliott. You'd have to be resting Membry, McStay, or Myercheck. That's the only way.
Yeah. And that's the unfortunate thing. That's one of the good problems we've got, But I really want to see this kid, with see how he goes with the big boys,
That's it.
One other thing just before I go, remember the premiership year when we secured top 2. I don't know if you remember, we did we increased our training loads, and we lost a few games going just before the finals. I wonder if we'll do that again, because we're in a great position now, and it could put us in good stead for the finals if we secure top 2 in the next couple of weeks. You never know, man. He might start really increasing the training loads on the boys. We might, go a bit flat, but it might happen,
Yeah, I think our conditioning has been outstanding. So I think we live and die by the strength and conditioning sword that is it Jared Wade that he holds. So we'll just trust him. That's it.
Yeah. Oh well, it's a fantastic weekend so far.
Wonderful.
Haven't had this feeling probably since 2011. That didn't end well, but that year I just thought we were flying, and it's a similar feeling now. It was just I expected us to be flat today, and we were. And 3/4 time, I just thought I had a content feeling, knowing that I trust this team. We haven't been our best for 3 quarters, but I just trust them just to step it up and just ice the game. And we copped a couple of goals at the start of the last quarter, but bang, we just fucking buried them. And it's just great to see that we can have that much confidence in the boys to get it done. The game plan, it just holds up, man. Anyone, everyone's come up against us, and our game plan just holds up against everyone, and it's really looking good at the moment.
Love it.
Very happy. Very happy.
Good sleep tonight. Are you working tonight, or you got the night off?
No, I got the night off. I just did a night shift last night. I'm going to go to the 24-hour gym later, and fucking, I'm in a good mood, so I'll try and get some PBs.
You going to the gym tonight?
I am, yeah. Because I work night shifts, I'm a bit of a night owl, so
Nocturnal.
I'm wide awake now.
Well,
I'm up and about. I'm I'm hyperactive, so it's the perfect time to
Well,
go.
if you want someone to bounce energy off, I'm pretty sure Manny doesn't sleep overnight either. So maybe you can hit him up on Discord.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
No worries, pal. You have a good one, okay?
Yassel File.
Catch up.
All right, I think Kev was next. So we got Kev, then Reedy, and then Kynan, and then Mr. Mum. Kevino.
Anthony, how are you, mate?
Good, brother. What's going on?
Not much, brother. Enjoying the win, 34 points.
Were you at the game?
Yeah, it was a really... Yeah, I was at the game. The way they were holding Nick Dacus was ridiculous tonight. The way that he was getting held on to and not getting free kicks was absolute joke. But apart from that, yeah, not too bad.
How was the energy for the Collingwood fans for the first 3 quarters and then the last quarter?
We were up and about when we got those goals, and then as soon as we did something good, it was great. It's like, oh yeah, and then as soon as we turn it over, it's like, oh. But no, it was pretty good for 3 quarters. Even the last quarter, we did the Collingwood chant as well, so that was really good. And yeah, like as soon as we were like 3 goals up or something, that's when the chant happened, and you had that sort of belief that we were going to win. So yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, huge. And who was your favorite player tonight, or what was a moment that really sticks at the front of your mind right now?
I thought Pendles' goal from 50 was really good. I didn't think he was going to kick that, to be honest.
Hey, careful how you talk about our goat, yeah? Don't be mean.
Our senior goal.
Yeah.
I thought Nick Dacus did really well in delivering a footy inside of 50. And Jamie Elliott's tackle, that was a written tackle.
Yeah.
To get the hold on the ball in 50 seconds. So, yeah, it was a really good win. A VFL side one as well, so that makes it a lot more better being St Kilda's VFL team. But
yep,
yeah, we'll take the winner.
Double header. We got the job done at the Vitality Centre, then at Marvel.
Pretty much, and then our VFLW girls got the job done against Port Melbourne too.
Fantastic.
In Port Melbourne, so that was really good. So yeah,
fantastic. That's good. Well, wins all around, mate.
Yep. Any changes you think for next week? Obviously, with Bo, do you think they'll play him, or do you think they'll give him a week off?
I'd say Bo gets a week off. I could see, if we really want to bring West in, I can see Myercheck getting rested. Bruzzy needs to come in. So, yeah, we'll see. We've got the predicted 23 that will come out on probably, Tuesday. We'll probably do that on Tuesday in the live stream. So, yeah, we'll know a little bit more with the injury update, and we can have a crack then, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely, because we don't want to go too early with the Bo. It could be something minor. It could be like nothing at all.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a little bit of a twing that might be a week or 2, or it could be a month. Just never know with hamstring. So
that's it.
Yeah.
Kev, was it Reedy or Kynan next? I've just forgotten my order.
It was Kynan next, and then Reedy after him, and then it's Mr. Mum.
All right, brilliant. Well, I've got to keep it rolling, Kev. I appreciate you, and get home safe, okay?
Will do, mate. Go the Pies.
Go to Pies. Kynan.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Are you recovered from your Wednesday midweek hangover, or?
Yeah. Thank God.
Or did you run it back last night?
Oh, maybe. maybe just a little bit.
We got degenerates in out. We got degenerates on the show, mate.
Yeah, that's me. Absolutely.
What's going on?
Degen.
Talk to me.
Oh, mate, bro. This team tests my patience, man. It really does. But in the best way. In the best way, of course. In the best way. But also, like, come on, man.
What do you want from me?
I don't know, man. I want them to stop grabbing Nick. It's actually starting to anger me on like a weekly basis. It just gets me too angry.
Yeah. I'm starting to think Nick Dacos is stealing some intellectual property from these players and they want it back. I don't know. Something of high value to them. I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's absurd. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're having to illegally knee a player in the back of his hamstrings so he can't play the game, you're a dirty cunt. Like, I'm sorry. There's no way to say it. Like, you're just a piece of shit. Like, let the man play. Let the man play. Like,
was Windhager kneeing him in the thighs?
Yeah. He was fucking dead ass. They showed videos of it. He was standing behind him and he was like giving him little corkies in the back of his fucking thighs all game.
Cheeky.
Not even cheeky, just he's a dirty dog.
Well, I see him at my local sauna, so maybe I'll have a word with him next time.
Yeah, have a word with him. Sling some hands.
All right.
Nah, bro. Why does Bo always seem to hurt himself when he's starting to get a good run?
Such a shame,
what's with that?
Yeah. 2 center clearances. He was on track for 4 or 5 center clearances for the game.
Yeah, no, he was going hectic. It was insane.
Yeah.
I think I've noticed something, but
tell me.
Ever since we've brought Dan McStay back into the side, we've started to rely on that stupid long down the line bullshit kicking we used to do. And I don't know if it's just because Dan McStay's back or if it's just a correlation causation, but it's what it seems to be anyway. And it's like why are we doing that? Like when we weren't doing that, we were pumping teams by 60 points.
Look, I would say I don't know if I can agree with that because we're still extremely efficient when we go inside 50. We're the most efficient. I think we're the most efficient side going inside 50 still.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. It was just we seemed a lot more clean. I think that's probably a better way of phrasing it. Instead of like because we were pretty sloppy inside 50. We were efficient at kicking the goals, but we were quite sloppy.
It's cold versus St Kilda. It's not going to be pretty. Like these next 4 to 6 weeks. There's going to be some ugly games.
Ugh, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right. It'll all be worth it in the end. Hopefully,
Hope. Yeah. I mean that's the idea. I mean, God, some positives. I mean, Nick, he's a freak. Like he can't like not go a week without just complimenting that man. He's too damn good. What he's able to do with the ball off of 2 steps is some freak shit, man.
Man, I'm seeing Pendles breaking out of the center sometimes. I'm like, where's his speed coming from?
Yeah. Where the fuck is this coming from, eh?
He's fraud.
I'm watching Pendles and he's winding the clock back to his like mid-20s. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, and like, I mean, hey, how good of a pickup is Tim Membry?
Oh, you just all you wanted to see tonight was Membry get 2 or 3 goals just to. We want to call it sticking up the Saints? You want to call it that?
I mean, what else are you gonna call it?
Yeah, all right. You said it. You confirmed it.
Yeah, that's me. But yeah, like I mean, there's a few things that we could tidy up on, like, obviously, because we weren't obviously perfect this week. I think we got to stop bombing it up the line. That's one of the main problems I have. Is we just keep bombing it to massive pack contests, and it's not efficient. It's hard to watch. Because we're so deadly when we get in the 50, but we just keep kicking it to those 5, 6, 7 man packs.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know if I can defend you there, brother.
I personally, I just don't like it. I just doesn't work. I don't know. I don't like it. It's not entertaining to watch to me, anyway.
Fair. That's your
I don't
view,
know.
brother?
It's just that it just isn't Collingwood, you know. I don't know. Just bombing it to pack marks just doesn't sound like us, you know.
Nah, I reckon you're tripping, man. I reckon you're tripping tonight.
I'm not. I'm not. Okay.
Bro.
I don't know. I'm getting gaslit, bro. This is crazy.
You're tripping, bro. You're tripping.
Nah. I'm getting gaslit. This is crazy.
Nah, watch the game back. You'll see. You'll see.
But-
Trust me.
Oh fuck. Maybe I might. I don't know. I was kind of half out of it today. I'll be honest. there was a lot going on, man. I had a lot of shit on today.
You're a good
So
man.
I mean,
we got the win,
we
bro.
got the win. That's the main. That's the main W.
We got the fucking
Yeah.
win. Nick Dacos
So that's
exploded.
it. I mean,
that's it.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't have much to add this week. I don't know. My brain's kind of fried at the moment. So
Nah, you're good, bro. You're good. I'm gonna keep it rolling though. I'm gonna keep it rolling, Conan. All right, I'll leave you with it, brother.
easy.
Take it easy, boss.
Go Pies, boys.
See ya. Reedy,
G'day, mate.
how we going?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to have some sort of Pies footy back in the weekly schedule. Fucking hell.
That's it, mate. But
Yeah.
it's been a while between drinks, but yeah, it's looking good, mate. Like, very pleasing to see the triple digits hit again.
Yes.
It was a little bit slow, but we're hot pies, flag pies, up the pies, go the pies, all the pies, get around the pies.
All types of pies, mate. I love it. What was your main takeaway from, say, let's talk about the first 3 quarters and then talk to me about the last quarter.
First 3 quarters, it was a bit of a grind. I think I heard Boomer say it before, but I didn't really feel threatened by St Kilda at any point. Obviously, like, you can't just totally disregard your opposition and who you're playing, but you have to have, like, a realistic expectation of how it's going to play out somewhat. And I just think that we're firing on so many cylinders this year. It's going to be really tough to sort of get one of those like easy losses, if you will, which we have been prone to in the past. Like, it's no secret, you sort of switch off a little bit when you're playing that lesser opposition. It's not the same as getting up for 80,000 at the G. Like, the Marvel effect does play a little bit into it, but
100%.
yeah, as
100%.
I say, 100 points plus again. That's a tick in my box.
Were you in the camp? I'm not sure if maybe you didn't notice this or query this or earmark this. Were you concerned about how, like, Jamie Elliott in his career best form right now would go with all 3 big M's in the forward 50? Did you have any concerns, or were you trustful that it would still blend in pretty well like it did tonight in the end?
That's a good one, actually. Probably not something I've given too much thought. Jamie Elliott's one of those guys, like, he sort of goes under the radar a little bit. But I guess, like, with all these big targets down there now, like, it's almost like they're getting all the attention. So he's sort of able to just use his footy smarts a little bit and just sort of slip out a couple dummy leads and always seems to get onto a few.
Yeah.
And we know what his kicking's like in front of goal. It's first rate. So it's safe as houses when he's got a set shot. If I had anybody kicking for my life, it'd be Jamie Elliott, put it that way.
Very true. Very true. What about...
One thing I wanted to ask you,
yeah.
Look, I'm going to shine a little bit of a spotlight on it here, but what do you think's going on with Dan Houston?
Yeah, my brother brought that up in the 4th quarter, and I'm reluctant to be super bold around Dan Houston because of what we saw with Lockie Schultz last year. I'm hoping that, and I'm mindful that we just want the ball in Josh Dacos's hands, and Dan Houston was that guy at Port, but he's not that guy at Collingwood right now. But I think when it comes to the big games, the final series, I think that's where we're going to see his true worth. But that's foreshadowing, right? That's not a guarantee. That's a hope, and that's a wishful thinking. But I don't think it's too big of a stretch of an imagination to suggest. No.
Yeah, I think so.
Where are you at with
one thing I was going to ask though? Like, do you think that maybe his confidence is shot a little bit. Like I could see him getting a little bit of a run on the wing, like just getting his hands on it a little bit more. What do you think of that?
Look, to be honest, now that you mention, bringing a player in to a different position to get them more involved, I'm sure Dan Houston will be more than capable of playing in the wing position. Is he down on confidence? Does he look like he's down on confidence? Is probably the question we should ask. Maybe, he probably holds himself to a high standard, and there he came with a pretty hefty price tag. So maybe he's feeling that a little bit. But so long as we're winning and winning in the way we are at the moment, or the way we have over the course of the year, I don't think he's overly stressed right now. And I think we'll find out a bit more in the coming weeks. But also, what can we and should we dare flirt with like a Bobby Hill attending a centre bounce or playing on a wing when he doesn't touch the ball for a half? And it happens in that role. But someone like Bobby Hill, who is so dangerous with the ball, just wondering, can we be a little bit more flexible with the way we play him?
I don't mind that. It's sort of on that whole confidence thing, right? Because it doesn't do much for you if you haven't touched it in a half a footy. You've got to get your hands on it at some point. So I think being flexible in that sense, like it's always sort of an open door. But you're right. I don't think Bobby actually gets utilised to his fullest potential. It's just kind of the nature of the position that he plays. Like some weeks it's going to be a hit, some weeks it's going to be a miss, and again, like that sort of comes back to confidence a little bit. But sorry to go back to Houston. Just one thing I've noticed with him is like where he's actually winning the ball. It seems to be like in a pretty restricted area of the back line. And he's such like an elite kick. We knew that, like obviously going after him and acquiring his services. That's what he's sort of known for, that 2-time All-Australian form. And it's like, well, I don't really want him kicking it from like 45 metres out in the opposition's forward line. I want him using it like sort of coming into that forward 50 or off that half back line. So it's really just going to be like fine tweaking coming into finals because, look, knock on wood, we should have a pretty smooth run into September at this point. We've done all the legwork now and it's just kind of like, we might drop a few games here or there, but for the most part, like just keep that snowball rolling, as McRae likes to say.
That's right. And I suppose you're just to clarify, you'd like Dan Houston to be involved more in the build-up play rather than, getting it quite high up the ground more often than not. Is that what you're trying to paint?
I think so. Like just being such an elite kick, it's like he has to have his hands on it. I don't think he's got 20 disposals once this year. I only know that because I was taking him at the beginning in those same game multis, but I had to drop him. So
he's burnt us a few times. I know.
Yeah, he's definitely hurt me a few times in the old same game. But look, I think he's obviously a class player, and we don't want him to sort of get down on himself a bit because he hasn't been his usual self. He hasn't been in that All-Australian form, but I know you've said it plenty of times, and I do agree with you in the sense that this move was made for September. I think he's really going to flourish under those September lights. We're going to see the best of him, and we're going to see why we went out and got a player of his ilk. You
have to also look. Here's the thing, right? And we'll finish on this note with Dan Houston. It's interesting. Like so we've got Josh Dacos, who's averaging nearly 28 touches for the season in the back half. Like that's already a bunch of touches taken away from you. Then you got Perryman, who's around the mark, nearly 17 touches a game. Howie, 15 touches. Maynard, 15. Then you got Quaynor, who's getting his own. So it's like, fuck, like that's where his touches are going.
There's not much ball for him to get. There's not much ball for him to get. Everyone else is getting it.
But in saying that, I think, once again, coming final series, you want the ball in either Josh's hands, Jeremy Howe's hands, or Dan Houston's hands. More than any of those players.
Agreed.
The rest of the players,
Agreed. Brazzy's a bit underrated too, actually. Like he's got a cannon of a left foot.
He's got a slingshot, mate.
From that back
he's got a slingshot.
What was that?
He's got a slingshot. He's not afraid to read out and go through the corridor either.
Absolutely, and it's salivating having him, Degoe. I'm sure I'm missing someone. And Shooter.
Yeah.
Like those three are locks for the best 23. So having them just sitting on the sideline sipping a pina colada, it's nice having them in the wings.
Knock on wood, it's funny. Our biggest problem this year has been our depth. Too much depth. Yeah.
I know, right? It's a good problem to have, though. It's a
Yeah.
good problem to have.
For sure.
Another one I got for you actually is Ned Long. I think maybe this could be me, but I think he's getting a little bit complacent with his role. Over those gather rounds, he was like the best player in the comp for a good 3-4 weeks there. He was unstoppable, had his own footy, had it all his own way. But I think now, I actually saw him in like a press conference. He said the good thing about Collingwood is they focus more on your strengths than your weaknesses. And that definitely rings true with him because you see that he has that confidence to go out there and be a wrecking ball, win the hard footy, do his job for the team, be a soldier. But I think he's maybe just getting a little bit too comfortable with himself now. I'm not ringing alarm bells just yet, but something I'm noticing with him.
Yeah. When you say complacent, what are you specifically talking about with his game?
I just think that I see him creep into that forward 50 a lot as well, especially when we've got it just outside 50 on that fringe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to do that because you can get a cheap one, sort of like a 45-meter shot on goal. But for me, like he just seems like he can do anything on the field. And it's like you've still got to play to that structure, play the team way. I don't want him getting too carried away with what his role actually is. It could just be me, in all honesty. But he had a pretty down game tonight, so that's maybe why I'm being a little bit harsh on him. For the most part, he's been good, especially for what he's getting paid and how we got him. It's hard to find better value than that, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't want him getting too ahead of himself and his role in the team.
Yeah, look, I'd have to watch it back and see. I do see him surging forward sometimes, but I see him do a lot of, like I said, he gets those little chip kicks at the 40, 45 meter mark. He's also finding himself in really nice handball sequences in the forward 50. How many tackles? He still had 8 tackles today. He only had 70% time on ground, which is the third least. If excluding the sub, it was the second least on the ground. So while he was quiet, I think it doesn't help that he wasn't on the ground a great deal. I'll keep an eye on. I see what you're saying, but personally, for now, I would say I disagree. But now that you've highlighted it, I will keep an eye on it and see if it's of any concern.
Nah, that's fair, mate.
Yeah.
Speaking of subs, though, you kind of just gave me a perfect segue there.
Go
I
on.
think Hoskin Elliott's put his hand up for super sub. I really do. I think he's the man that I want wearing that green substitute vest. I think Sullivan's kind of look, it's going to be a bit harsh for him because he has been in and out sub here, there, everywhere. But I think he's going to have a bit of a run in the VFL now, Sullivan.
It's just tough, man. Like, you just got Tom Mitchell knocking at the door. You got Charlie West there as well. I agree. I really liked Hoskin Elliott coming on against Melbourne. So I'd like to, if we do see Charlie West come in and Membry or Myercheck or McStay get managed, then maybe there's that chance where you give Hoskin Elliott the vest, and then you let Charlie West debut as a starter as well against West Coast.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I think I can see Myercheck being managed. I think is the term they use these days. So I can see him, having a rest against West Coast, and as we say, mate, West is best. So I'm excited to see what he's about, and hopefully he's a good long-term future for us, like down there, because we're certainly not getting any younger. So it'd be nice to have one of these like diamonds in the rough just put their hand up and cement their place in the team.
Yeah, that's it. All right, mate. I appreciate you, Reedy. I'll keep it rolling to Mr. Mum in the Discord as well.
Oh, good, mate. Go to Pies.
Take care, brother. All right. Mr. Mum,
Yo,
how are we?
lucky last, mate.
Last
yeah,
but not
pretty
the
good.
least.
Pretty good. Yeah, last but not the least, hopefully. First 3 quarters, we can ignore that because, well, the last quarter was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I just got to ask, how many testicles would you give up to see bloody Matt Rowell playing this side?
Oh, look, if you just wonder, fuck, how does this team get any better? And of course, yeah, that's, someone like Matt Rowell or Ben King.
Perfect fit.
What would that make us?
Fucking dynasty team?
Yep. We're there. Like, that's why, I think that's why some of these veterans want to play on, mate, is because we're so close to becoming that.
Yeah, I mean, like Matt Rowell, he wins the contested, he wins the ground ball, and he wins clearances. Like, those are our weaknesses right now.
It is. I thought we were getting better at that early in the season. Look, we are winning still, but it'd be nice to be able to try and break even. That's all.
We just need to break even on the stat sheet because all throughout Craig McRae's coaching career, he's never been the best at stats. Doesn't really win the stats, but he wins the games.
True.
So if we break even on the stat sheet, like inside 50s, clearances, we're a good enough side to pump them by 30.
Yeah. What else? As far as what we saw on the field tonight, actually, it's been a while since I fucking got off my chair in game and just lost it, and that was when Nick Dacos kicked that goal in the 4th quarter. Did you? Did you feel that?
Yeah, that was only he could do that.
Yeah.
And anyone who says Nick Dacos is not the best player in the game has like 2 brain cells. It's like Marcus Winhanger tagged Bond to like 14 disposals and he had no impact.
Yeah.
Same with Cozzy Pickett and probably like half a dozen other players.
Yep.
And Nick Dacos has that sort of game. Wasn't his best, but it probably meant the most for him this year, maybe.
Yeah, I think we said it earlier, it's like it was that type of game where we're getting closer to finals. Nick's been frustrated with the tag. He's been playing okay, but he had that Nick Dacos game where last year where he wore the cape and he did that for the large part of tonight. And we do, look, it's great. This year we've been able to win most games without Nick Dacos putting on his cape and getting the 3 votes, right? But we do still want to just know, Nick's still got that in him if we need it.
I mean, he's a bloody Gary Ablett,
Yeah.
You love to have him firing, even though we don't need him firing as much as we did in the past. But, I mean, Nick Dacos getting 30 touches is different to like a Scott Pendlebury or like still Sidebottom getting 30 touches. Like when Nick Dacos is on, he's way better than anyone else in our team. So it's important to have him, protect him, make sure he doesn't get bullied by a tag and make sure he's like fully fit.
Yeah, I feel like, like those 3 players you mentioned, they all use their 30 in different ways. Like Scott, if you are coughing up 30 touches against Scott Pendlebury, you're in trouble. Still Sidebottom will get you 30 touches and connect around the ground, and Nick will get you 30 touches and he'll do inside, he'll do outside, and he'll find a way to imprint the game by way of the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, they're all amazing players. There's been games where Scott Pendlebury's carried Still Sidebottom and Nick, but I've just noticed across the seasons, like when Nick Dacos is like the best player on ground, we do perform like so much better than when another player is best on ground.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Do you reckon we bring in a Westie in for the Eagles game or?
It's the perfect game to bring him in.
Yeah.
Like you can't really drop anyone because they're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could drop Memory because you got him in for a packet of chips.
But not based
But
on
he's-
his form, though. You wouldn't drop him.
Not based on his form.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to bring him in, apart from injury, this is the game. Like, he would at least kick a goal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it'd be nice. And it just because, look, here's the thing. You give him the debut. Really, it's just to feed him and reward him. And he doesn't have to play another game beyond that this year. It's just to reward him. Say, hey, mate, this is what it tastes to be in an AFL game. This is what you should expect. And Will Hayes got that, against Melbourne in particular. He probably saw a level of intensity that he hasn't been acquainted with very well in the past. So he takes those experiences now and he takes that into the VFL and the off-season and appreciates, this is what it takes. AFL is just completely different to the VFL. So that's the benefit in giving West one game this season.
Even like a sub-vest.
Nah, he's got to start. He's got to start. He's got to start if he debuts, I reckon.
I don't know how he starts though. That's the thing.
Yeah, the probably Myercheck or Membry or McStay will need to be managed if he comes in.
Yeah, I don't see McRae doing that, but if it was up to me, I would manage one of them.
Yeah.
Just because to see West play.
Yeah, that's it.
But I know everyone's had their 2 cents on Bo McCurry, but like what he does, I mean, it's a shame he got injured. Like I remember this happened last year against Carlton.
Yeah,
he was sort of playing on got knocked out, got a knee to the mouth.
Yep.
Brutal. But I mean, imagine he does that in a final. Like, and now he's kicking inside 50. I think it's like much better than it was before.
Yeah, he's kicking going inside 50, the way he's finding targets. He is evolving.
He does it differently. He does it differently to like a Nick Dacos or whoever, a Pat Lipinski. Like, he sort of hooks it. And I don't know, he just kicks in a dangerous area and always finds someone.
Yeah, you always find him. He's got penetration, and he loves kicking it to the open side, which why his kicks may look hooked because he's kicking it across his body to the open play, and that's where your wingers like Jack Crisp who can roll forward, or even still side bottom at times, and your fat side small might be a Jamie Elliott who's more than capable of taking an aerial duel in a 1-on-1 environment when those kicks are kicked to the fat side.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see him like healthy and playing in the midfield, because what he did for those, how long was he even on the ground for? Like 10 minutes?
I'd say so.
Yeah, I mean, it was the best 10 minutes I've seen him play ever.
It was good.
So, I mean,
he was good.
Yeah. Darcy Moore played better today than he has in like the last fortnight.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Sign us off, brother. I can see people want Manny, but I'm fucking tired, boys and girls. I'm going to bed after this.
Yeah, normally you're in bed.
Yeah, I got to go to bed, bro. But sign us off, my man.
Thanks for listening. Up the pies, and see you next week.
Done. Good man. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, see ya.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm sorry. I can't get Manny on again. I'm tired. I gotta sleep. Man's gotta sleep. Plenty of content throughout the week. Don't worry. Thanks for sticking.